Hi guys, I'm Dan Smith and I want to introduce you to a project that we did recently on a Facebook remote viewing group because I think it's really interesting. Now the project involved a technique called ARV, which is Associate Remote Viewing, and what that means is we associate different targets with different outcomes. So in this case it was a binary remote viewing ARV experiment, so that means we had two outcomes. We had an outcome for one event, which would be one target, and we had an outcome for a second event, which would be another target. And essentially what we want the remote viewer to do is go forward in time and look at the data or the target that we would give them as feedback for the event that actually happens. Now the event in this case was the election of the next president of the United States next year, 2020. We got some really interesting data. We had 7 remote viewers come forward, and I want to thank them publicly on this for coming forward with their information on this project. So we had 7 remote viewers of various levels of training using various techniques try this ARV project. And what I will do in a minute is, well, I will show you an overview of the project and I will show you the data and let you know how they got on and what they are predicting is going to be the outcome of the presidential elections next year.
Okay then, now let's have a look at the remote viewing analysis for this project. So this project is remote viewing the United States of America presidential election results 2020. Now on September 13th, 2019, I created a remote viewing project using a technique called ARV, which is Associate Remote Viewing, to try to predict the outcome of the 2020 USA presidential elections well in advance. I asked for participants for this project on a popular Facebook remote viewing group that I run, and 7 people responded to the request. Now, just a little bit of background about ARV. ARV, or Associative Remote Viewing, associates targets with outcomes. So what we usually do binary ARV targets, so that includes 2 targets. And we usually have one target with one outcome, usually something like a yes or an up. And then we have another target with another outcome, which can be a no or a down. So this target here may be something like the Eiffel Tower, may indicate yes. And if this target here may be London Eye, and that may indicate no. And whatever the remote viewer sees as their future feedback information be given to them, then that indicates where the target's going to go in the future. So we want the remote viewer to describe the one that they will be shown into the future as their feedback. Now for this project I created 2 targets, one for each outcome. We had an A outcome, and the remote viewer is to move to the optimum position or location to describe the actual structure focused upon in the feedback image if Donald Trump is not re-elected president. So for the A target, that would be their feedback in 2020 if Donald Trump is not elected president. The B target is similar in structure and design, but they will be shown this target if Donald Trump is re-elected as president in 2020. So there's our 2 targets. And they were very similar structures, a very similar size, format, focus, shape, and form. And what I was looking for in this was I was looking for a lot of details about the material makeup of the structures and the shape of the structures. But essentially, they were just the same type of structures. So 7 remote viewers participated in this project. The remote viewers used different RV methods that they learned themselves, and from what I could tell, they were of different skill levels of their practice. Now, all the remote viewers appeared to have some contact with both targets, so there was a tiny little bit of displacement going on there, but not a huge amount for this project, to be honest. But they all had more target contact with one of the targets of the 2. Now, the remote viewing was initially analysed by myself, and then I got 2 other seasoned remote viewers stroke project managers and long-time ARV practitioners to look at these targets, and that was John Knowles and Tunde. You probably know these from the RV boards. Altogether, independent, we all agreed the data indicated a clear prediction and choice. And the interesting thing in the analysis is I, of course, because I'm the project manager, I knew what I was looking at when I did this project. So I knew although I didn't, I wasn't focused on it too much. I knew that, one would be an outcome, which one of A or B would be the outcome for either. Now, when I gave these targets to John and Tunde to do their analysis, they literally just had the target images. They knew it was to do with a prediction of an election, but they didn't know what the A target was or what the B target was. If the A was up or the B was down, kind of thing. So they did it pretty much blind. So here's a chart here showing the analysis of myself and John's. I don't have Tunde's on here because all he literally did was sent me a line of text saying, I think it's this. So I'll just go through here. Here's my own here. So in the viewer list here, down this column, I have the names of the viewers, and as you can see, there's 7 of them there. Then I initially put in if I think they had target contact, and I think the first one there had very, very low target contact. Slight target contact, but hardly any. But the others all seem to have fairly good target contact. And then what I did with the next columns of A and B in the notes is I indicate there if I think if the viewer was in their data, or if they were describing the A target or the B target. And by the side of it in notes here, I put a little note if I think it was a low, medium, or high contact. So viewer P here, I got them indicated as A, and I think their A contact for this target was quite low. And the fact that here I got a question mark that they had hardly any target contact means that it's a very low score on that one. Second viewer here, yes, they had target contact, and I thought it was a B target, but low again. Then the third person here, they had target contact, they had B, but theirs was high. Then the fourth remote viewer, S here, they had target contact of A and B, but I felt that B was more prominent and it was high. So they had a bit of displacement going on, but clearly they were describing the B target more than the A target. The fifth remote viewer, C here, I see that they have target contact, and I also mark them again as having A contact and B contact, but I felt that their B contact was very high. So they had very little A data in there. So they had a little bit, but nowhere near as much as B. The sixth remote viewer, J, I indicated they had target contact, and they had B contact only, and it was medium. And the final remote viewer, J2, I indicated that they had target contact, they had a little bit of A contact, and they had quite a lot of B contact, so it was very strong on the B. So as you can see here, I had quite a lot of low, medium, and high contacts for B here, and it seemed quite clear. So I sent the targets, as I said, to John Knowles. He had the targets in, so he had the A and the B. He didn't know if one was, if he was going to be re-elected or if someone else was going to be elected. And he did analysis as well on this. And he uses a slightly different methodology based around the TARG scoring method. And you can find that online, and it scores, as it says here, the TARG scale scores between 0 and 7. And then he does a moderate to strong, which indicates the strength of it. So it's very similar. He had the viewer P here, the first viewer, with for the A target a score of 3 and the B a target score of 2, which he calls this a pass because it's so low, it's below the 3 that they pass on going with this. A 3 and above, they will then action and bet and place bets on, that kind of thing. So the second viewer, A, he had for the A target a score of 3 and the B target a score of 3. So he's there called that a pass as well, because again it's below the 3.5 mark. Viewer 3, M, he had an A a score of 1 and a B score of 3.5. So he classes this as a moderate B. The next viewer, S, he has a 1 score on the A and a 2 score on the B. So he gives this a pass because they're both below the 3.5. Viewer C, he gives the A score a 2 and the B score a very strong 5. So that comes out strong for him as a B. Then he marked viewer J a 2 on the A and a 3.5 on the B score. So he's given that a moderate. And the last viewer here, J2, he's got an A score of 2 and a very strong, or what he's classed as moderate, 4.5 here on the B. So he's got a moderate here. So he's got 3 of them here that he wouldn't bet on because he thinks that the data's too low. But the other data is clearly showing that it's, and that's from Fora, which is medium, mainly moderates, but a strong one in there, 4B target. So it's slightly different in the way that he's analysed it than mine, but in the end it comes out with pretty much the same data with a clear indication towards the B target. So the RV data at this point in time, as analysed independently by 3 people, myself, Johns, as you've seen, and Tunde sent me just a line of text saying, I've looked at all the sessions and it clearly shows that B is the target indicated in the remote viewing sessions. Now, these 2 people were both blind to the target associations during analysis, so they didn't know if B was up or down or if A was up or down. So the target data indicates that the viewers will get the B target as feedback. Now, I'm not going to show this because I'm going to keep the B and the A targets to myself until it's time for me to actually give them as feedback to the remote viewers on this project. But the B target is the remote viewers to move to the optimum position and location to describe the actual structure focused upon in the feedback if Donald Trump is re-elected president. So what the data at this point in time when the remote viewers did their remote viewing sessions is indicating the probability at that time that Donald Trump will be re-elected president in the 2020 elections. And I want to say a big thank you here to the 7 remote viewers who participated in this project, because it's very brave for people to do this online. And I also want to thank John and Tunde, who also worked some independent analysis on this interesting experiment. So that's it for now. What I'll do is I'll sum up in my last notes on this away from the screen, and thank you.
Okay, so there's the data. What do you think? I think it's pretty interesting at this stage. It's early on in the process. There's a lot of time to happen before then and now, but it seems clear from the analysis of myself and the other 2 guest people that analysed for me, which was J and T. I won't give their names on this just in case they don't want to. I think the data from the 7 remote viewers is clear from all 3 of us. We all came up with the same conclusions, that it's the target that we showed. Yeah, so please let me know your thoughts on this. Put the thoughts and comments below. Put the thoughts and comments on the Facebook page when you see this. Thank you to the remote viewers for coming forward, the 7 of you brave people, and supplying your remote viewing sessions. That's fantastic. Thank you for doing that, and we'll do more of this as we progress through the year, more projects, and get them out to people. So that's it. Let me know your thoughts and comments on this project. If you think we could have improved anything, what you actually think the data is signifying. Thank you very much and take care.